Okay, well, I thought I might drop a video this evening um, and kind of talk about this past week's Torah portion ever so briefly, and also about Havdalah, which is the kind of closing ceremony, and how the two of them go together quite nicely this week. Um, I also got a new Siddur, and so I want to read a little bit from it. I know those of you who have been following me for any significant amount of time are very surprised that I got another Siddur. But this one, it is actually one of Rabbi Jonathan Sachs' um, Siddurim, but it seems to be a very early one because this one is actually from the United Synagogue in Great Britain, as opposed to the United States, which he has a number of Siddurim that are out there that he edited and translated, etc. I actually have one that I thought I was on the right track because in the evenings, how I got involved with this Siddur was the started with the evening service with a particular synagogue. I had wanted an evening service for quite some time and not been able to find one. Finally found one, and so all I could find though on the page numbers that they called was in the very back of the Siddur, in one that I have here, and kind of a pocket version. And the nice thing about most Siddurim by most companies is the same prayer will be on the same page regardless. For instance, if I'm using an Art Scroll Siddur, the Sephardic and the Ashkenazi will more than likely be on exactly the same page, so you can flip. If you happen to have one and you're davening with the other group, you can actually follow along. So I noticed that I could read just some very closing comments, so to speak, in the other Siddur by the Sachs publishing. I don't know if company is the right word, but you know what I mean. Um, but none of the other pages were right. So anyway, now that I have changed over to the same synagogue for my Shabbat morning services, and I'll just say that the people that I had followed for a number of years through two rabbis, I believe, or maybe three. Yeah, I guess it was three, and two cantors, and three cantors too. Sorry about that. They just got a little too, shall we say, geopolitical, and so I decided I wanted to back away from that, and I was going for theology, not politics, one way or the other, and so I started following them on Shabbat morning as well. Well, anyway, as I was going along in my story, I could not keep up with the page numbers because the page numbers were different. Instead, I finally asked them which one they used, and I finally was able to obtain a copy. It is an older copy. It's an older book, and it actually is from the United Synagogue in the United Kingdom rather than from the United States. And so when you go to where we would normally have a prayer for our country, they actually have a prayer for the royal family, which is kind of an interesting piece of politics, especially praying for the departed queen. Anyway, very, very interesting. So I thought I might share a little bit of that with you, and I wanted to share a little bit about the Torah portion. This week was Kedoshim, and it is a group of laws. I believe it's the part of the Holiness Code, if I'm not mistaken, and it goes over a number of laws that deal with our interactions with others, For example, I believe next week we're going to run into the eye for an eye, and that's kind of an interesting concept when it's truly understood in its appropriate context. But anyway, so this week we started out with I am holy, so you shall be holy, and Kedashim Teheyu. And anyway, I thought about that, and I thought, what is holiness? And the Etzaim commentary had some good comments on it. They talked about, I believe it was Rabbi Hertz who said that holiness was taking all of your energies, all of your talents, all of you, and putting it into the service of God. And then I believe Martin Buber said he didn't actually differentiate between the holy and the profane, or the holy and the secular, which is something we do during Havdalah. He instead talked about the holy and the not yet holy, and several of them have talked about making the old new and the new holy. I believe that may have been Hertz as well. I apologize for not having all my quotes in a row here, but anyway, so let's first look at the Havdalah blessing, and let's see how that kind of leads back to, or leads into, the you shall be holy, for I am holy, given those and whatever other definitions you wish to give it. I would say for me, holiness is simply being those parts of my life which are separated unto God, and the hope is that before I die, there will not be anything that is not thus separated. So, all right, Havdalah at home. Here we go. Behold, God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. The Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. With joy you will draw water from the springs of salvation. Salvation is the Lord's. On your people is your blessing, Salah. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold, Salah. For the Jews there was light and gladness, joy and honor, so may it be for us. I will lift up the cup of salvation, and I will call upon the name of the Lord. And then we say, blessed are you, Lord, King of the universe, who creates the fruit of the vine, while holding a cup of wine, and then we set that down. Then we get our spice box, and we say, blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who creates the various spices, and then we smell of the spices and pass those around. Those are to refresh our spirit, give us something pleasing to look forward to as we move back from the holy day of Shabbat onto back into the regular work week. Then we say, blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who creates the lights of fire. At this point in time, of course, the Havdalah candle has already been lit throughout all of this, but then you kind of curve your hand such that you can see the light on your hand, and right next to it you can see the shadow of your hand, and kind of showing the difference between light and darkness right on your hand. So that's kind of a neat thing. Then we take up the cup again, and we say, blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who distinguishes between the sacred and the secular, between light and darkness, between Israel and the nations, between the seventh day and the 6 days of the 6 days of work. Blessed are you, Lord, who distinguishes between the sacred and the secular. And then we enjoy our sip of wine. So, considering that from the Kedoshim Tehiyu, point of view, it really helps to draw out perhaps what a little bit of that holiness means. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting aside. I thought y'all might like that. So, lastly, I'm going to read just a small portion. This is in the section called Understanding Jewish Prayer, and it is number 12, and it's speaking of different aspects of and the importance of Jewish prayer. And it says, is prayer answered? Is prayer answered? If God is changeless, how can we change him? By what we say. Even discounting this, why do we need to articulate our requests? Surely God, who sees the heart, knows our wishes, even before we do, without our having to put them into words. What we wish to happen is either right or wrong in the eyes of God. If it's right, God will bring it about even if we do not pray. And if it's wrong, God will not bring it about even if we do pray. So why pray? The classic Jewish answer is simple but profound. Without a vessel to contain a blessing, there can be no blessing. If we have no receptacle to catch the rain may fall, but we will have none of it to drink. If we have no radio receiver, the sound waves will flow, but we will be unable to convert them into sound. God's blessings flow continuously, but unless we make ourselves into a vessel for them, they will flow elsewhere. Prayer is the act of turning ourselves into a vehicle for the divine. So I thought that was very, very beautiful. Thank you, and may your memory be for blessing the late Chief Rabbi, Sir Jonathan Sacks. I thought that was very well written. I don't know if he wrote that entire section or not, or just translated it, or if it's a combination of people who maybe added to that. I didn't look in the very beginning. I should have. Yeah, it looks like it was him. So anyway, it's a very interesting Siddur. I had never, like I said, never seen this one before. It's beautifully bound, and it has two of the little drawstring tabs inside that you can use for bookmarks. So I have those in my most used prayers that I need to get to when I need to get to them. Yeah, so it's called the Authorized Daily Prayer Book, new translation and commentary by Chief Rabbi Sir Jonathan Sacks. And mine, I believe, was printed in 2006, so it's already 20 years old. I found some copies online that were in the hundreds of dollars. I didn't spend that, but it wasn't cheap either. But I've added it to my books, which you can see, my morning prayer books, which you can see in my prayer corner, which is going to be the little thumbnail for today's topic. So I hope you have a good week. Shavua Tov. Many blessings. Everybody stay safe in this weather coming through different parts of the country. And I'll talk to you later when I can. Shalom.